Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Tuesday, guys. It feels like a Monday, but it's not a Monday. It's a Tuesday for the Bostonian versus the book. He is Dave Sharapan. I am Matt Perrault. We are back. I am back where we normally should be, here in our home studios after a little snafu with the weather and the heat in New Hampshire. We appreciate you guys hanging out for bonus time on Friday. Kind of went a little sideways, but you guys who are watching on our replay on SiriusXM and Sports Grid TV, listening or watching, you guys didn't see anything for the wear, but you guys in the Brigade, thank you for being here. We got a lot to get to. We are live, obviously, on our YouTube channel and on our Twitter X channel, as we are each and every day that we do the show. Lots to get to today, Dave. How are you? Good to see you on this Tuesday. We got a lot of green to talk about today. You ready?
Yeah, I wore the green yesterday on the Sports Grid. I had enough fill the green. It worked. They got
I've been waiting to pull this out.
Yeah.
For over a year.
Yeah.
This is, so you guys know what this is behind me. That's Roger Long's artwork for all the sayings we have said on the air. The first thing he sent to me, the first package way back about a year last summer,
way back,
was this jacket from Larry Bird's in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah.
Opened in 1987. This jacket is almost as old as me. It's 37 years old, this jacket.
Yeah.
I don't know how the guy kept everything, and I cannot believe that Roger Long, as you called him, the senior member of the Brigade, would send this to me. But this is the first time, Dave, that you and I have been doing the Bostonian versus the book with a Boston team in the finals. Stanley Cup, Super Bowl, World Series, or NBA Finals. With the passing of Bill Walton, I thought this was the time to bring out this masterpiece.
Passing of Bill Walton, I'll allow it. First time for a Boston team in the book and doing Bostonian versus the book. Can you see me trying to contain my excitement? Can you see me trying to already deflect all of the Perrault is such an masshole every day? How do you tolerate him? How do you talk to him? Listen to him bloviate about Boston sports every single day, Dave? How do you do it? This is now it's official. We get to sit and wait.
To
see them
and wait.
Well, I mean,
June 6th.
That's the first day of the NBA Finals. Today's only May 28th, and there's 31 days in May. 4, 6, that's 10 days away. Oh, boy.
Do you know who's
better win tonight?
You know who's starting game 1 for Boston in the finals? Kristaps Porzingis will be back for the Boston Celtics in 10 days. Yes, unless his Achilles got completely torn. This kid's playing. There's no way in my mind.
You want him back in there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, everyone's talking about Kyrie revenge. Give me Porzingis revenge. I'm way more interested in that. Let's go. Forgetting that he used to play for Dallas. Everyone's so geeked for like Kyrie Sage 2.0 type stuff.
Yeah, baby.
You're forgetting about what Porzingis and the Mavericks, and everybody's saying it wasn't going to work and he wasn't going to win a championship. He always gets hurt. He can't play, blah, blah, blah. Matchup nightmare for the Dallas Mavericks. That's a small basketball team. I can't wait. That's why it's minus 230.
Yeah, I've been trying to align a lot of the stuff that I've been doing in the book with the Celtics winning side to try to, because the Dallas winning side is very nice.
Sure, of course.
Of the mix, because the
odds
to happen though high.
Problem is it has to happen.
Yeah, the Dallas over Boston part of that exacta started at 7-1.
Wow. That's
They
amazing.
didn't give them much of a chance to beat the T-Wolves.
Right.
So
Right.
that matchup was very lucrative. Just getting that side lined up,
Yep.
and now just wanted the Pacers to win one game. Could they have just won one game, like
Right?
any one of the games?
I wanted them to win a game personally. I mean, again, I don't want Boston sitting for 10 days. And frankly, it's not, I don't think you should bet entirely based upon that. But if the Mavs win tonight, we don't have NBA basketball for over a week. Over a week for NBA basketball. That is crazy. But we'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. Every time you and I go east, we all come back. We both come back, and we both come back, go, how the do you guys do it? Those games began at 8 o'clock and 8:30 while I was back east.
Right? You didn't like that?
That is unbelievable that
No
we
good?
have hockey games and we have basketball games, playoff games
Yeah.
that start at 8:30 Eastern time.
Yep.
I mean, literally waiting around at 5:30 Eastern time.
Start to look around going, what
I'm
are we
looking at
doing?
my watch, and Amanda's like, what are you looking at? I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't get over the fact that it's 5:30 and there's nothing on. She's like, what do you mean? I go, at 5:30, I'm in the middle of my full-blown like baseball, basketball, hockey. Like I got multiple screens going on. Like 5:30 Pacific time is go time. There
Yeah.
is so much to watch. There's so much going on. The sun's still out. I'm eating dinner. It's like the prime time for us on the West Coast. On the East Coast, 5:30 is still, you're sitting in traffic. You're still trying to get home.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably driving home listening to us on the replay, or
Right.
Hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, all the above. Addison, yeah, I can see that's why you drink. Sports are at night back there. Like there's no sports while the sun is up. You get 2 or 3 innings of a baseball game, and that's it. Whereas here, the sun's up almost the whole time sports are on, and then you go eat
Out.
dinner, live your life, whatever, at night. It is so different.
It's so different.
And-
The lifestyle is so, I mean, sports really do become like the thing you do after you've taken care of the honeydew list and after you've taken care of the dinner and your work and you're done for the day.
Yeah.
Then you watch sports. Like that's not what we do. Like that's not what we do,
No.
Like it's right in the middle of everything that we do. It's right in the middle of the day, of the night. You're getting things ready to go. You sit down. I just couldn't get over the fact that at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, there's nothing on. There's no sports. All it is talk, blah, 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 pregame nonsense, ESPN, Fox Sports 1. Like you flip around, you're like, there's nothing on. like, what are we doing? There's nothing on. Like, let's play the game, guys. Let's go. You could start the game at 6 p.m. and then let's go. That's 3 p.m. on the West Coast. It doesn't work. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
know if
tough.
I could ever go back to that, P-Roll.
Not with the way that we are structured, like not the way that our brains and our lives are. It's like the humidity on top of that is, 65 and humid is wild to me. It's wild. I can't believe I actually lived in it for years and years and years, because like you're just wet and sticky and like, what the heck is going? Like, why do I have like
go again with the wet and sticky?
like,
Moist.
why do I have all of these like things running on my like water and sweat running down my back? It's 65
on the sides and on the back. Yep.
It's 65. It's not hot out. It's like it's not that warm out, but it's just like,
yeah.
And then man, there was a line of thunderstorms that rolled through on Saturday night, and I forgot what it's like when you have like an East Coast just complete dumping of water for an hour. How much water can fall in an hour? And like it's crazy. You're like, oh my gosh, this is nuts with how hard it was raining. I had to go outside and watch it. It was like entertainment for me. Amanda was like, you're watching rain. I'm like, I just don't see this. Like, we just don't see thunder, lightning, and complete downpour water for a good hour. Like, we don't get that here in Vegas. Like, we get rain, but we get it for like half a day or something. Never for like the complete downpour. It was wild to watch.
Yep. It's something different. We'll get the rain here, and like the kids will go out and play in it,
Right.
because it just doesn't do it enough. But I don't know, the time and the games is so different, and trying to stay up late for the overtimes, like of the hockey.
Yeah.
I know it's tough for a lot of people. They don't watch the West Coast half. I mean, like the Eastern Conference hockey is what everybody's watching versus the Western Conference. And I think, I mean, the basketball at least starts at the same time, but it's tough.
Covey, I'm with you. I lived in Alabama and Virginia and Houston. So I've lived in extremely humid places. It's just I've spent 9 years now here in Vegas, and I lived in, Eastern Massachusetts for 18 years. Then I went to college. Then I went to Virginia, then Alabama, then Nebraska, then Iowa, Texas, New Hampshire. Like I've been around. I've been in very humid places. It's just I've spent the second longest amount of time in my life here in Vegas now. And you get really accustomed to not having to deal with humidity and the overall heaviness of the air. I mean, but I'll say this, going from New Hampshire, where I spent 4 days, to landing back in Vegas was one of the starkest juxtapositions of imagery that I've had in a very long time. Like it was very interesting. It was like all green, mountains, nature, land, and oh my gosh, the sphere is like this ball of energy that just stands out in a way that is unlike anything you can prepare yourself for. It's pretty cool. Our skyline has become very, very neat in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's only been that way for like 2 years now or a year now. But that sphere changes the entire look. When you come out of the airport and you go into the garage and you look at the sphere, the whole skyline, it's like this. Last night, it was some Grateful Dead gigantic tie-dye thing. It was the craziest thing looking. It was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it was 90, and it was 90 too. So, I mean, on 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, it's fun to go. I think it's fun to visit, and then it's fun to leave in those situations. Like I love going back east in the summer and staying and hanging out, and then experiencing all of that, and then coming back to 100. Like, was it 100 when you landed last night?
Yeah, it was at 88, 90, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Yeah. It was hot. I mean, I came out and I was like, oh, it's warm. I was like, okay, here we go. Like we're back. It's it's almost June here in Vegas, and it's dry. The air is so much lighter. Like you just instantly, you get off the plane, you're like, it's a thinner, lighter. I can't describe it any other way because there's no humidity. So it just like, I breathe it easier. Like I don't know. It's a different feel when you get off. You get the difference pretty quickly when you're going from one to the other. So we have a lot to get to. So what happened this weekend, as we mentioned, that Bill Walton passed away at the age of 71 after a battle with cancer. I did not know he was sick. Did you?
I had heard rumors of it.
Okay.
But didn't know. And I got it first thing in the morning here, bunch of text. And I was like, wow. Again, I say it every day here in life. You never know what someone's going through. He was on TV. He was doing his thing. He was going to concerts. Like he was living his life. Who knew? I didn't know. I don't think a lot of people knew.
I think it's crazy that the Pac-12 officially ended on Saturday and Bill Walton passed on Sunday. Like that's nuts. I mean, a guy, as a broadcaster, if you say like, what was Bill Walton synonymous with? Like the Conference of Champions. Like I never heard that until Bill Walton. He just constantly talked about that over and over and over again. The Conference of Champions, the Conference of Champions. And a lot of us who are in the media world were like, what are you talking about, man? Like, wait, what? How's it the Conference of Champions? But right. I mean, UCLA was obviously with Bill when he was there, and with the run that they had for college basketball and the dominance UCLA basketball had under John Wooden. Like that's where that kind of got established. USC football was, big, obviously, when I was in high school and college, and other, sports, Olympic sports, they were known for their Olympic sports dominance. But to have the last baseball championship, the last major championship for the Pac-12, they were selling hats at the Pac-12 tournament for $5. All the gear was priced to sell. Like, just go and get all of it and buy all of it up. And then Bill passed away. I had the privilege of interviewing him numerous times in person and on the telephone. And I was talking with Covey on Twitter back and forth. And he was like, what was that like? You asked one question and got out of the way. Like he just ran. Like he just took the ball. It was the easiest interview you'd ever do. He would talk about 15 different things in one answer. You'd ask him about the Celtics and he would go on an incredible story about how and Bill Russell, and he always downplayed his own, story. But I mean, in 1986, the Celtics traded for Bill Walton, a banged up big man who people questioned how long he could play and could he stay healthy and was he going to be able to be an effective weapon for the Celtics. And they went and won the NBA championships over a team from Texas, 4-2. So if you want to talk about the universe coming around, Celtics beating the Mavericks in 6 games would be the bet to make on that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to make any bets yet. I don't know about Porzingis. We got a long time to think about it.
Well, the Celtics swept the Pacers. I thought they'd lose 2 games. I really did. I thought Boston. I told you after game 1, though.
Wait a second. Did you just move on from the Pac-12 being done? We got to talk about that for a second, don't we?
What was there to say? We've been talking about it for months now. It's dead.
It's over.
Done. Yes.
No more Pac-12 after dark.
No more Pac-12, period.
Well, there's still two teams in it.
Are they going to be allowed to keep the name? It's going to be fought over in court.
I don't know.
Oregon State and Washington State are the last 2 quote unquote members of the Pac-12. There's 2 teams in it.
But for how many people is like the Pac-12? You talk about the East Coast, West Coast thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Pac-12 after dark was everybody's like,
get right.
In addition to the Hawaii game, it was the game that you watched. It had so much, usually points scored. It was always a fun game, it felt like. And it was almost always a standalone game. And like we were watching the Pac-12 softball tournament a few weeks ago in this house with kind of like a little bit of melancholy.
Did you see what Brady's niece did in that tournament?
Oh, yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, we met her.
Oh, really?
2 summers ago when we were out there. She couldn't have been nicer. I mean, she was young. She was, I think,
2-time Pac-12 Player of the Year.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
2-time Pac-12 Tournament MVP. Like Brady tweeted over the weekend, he said the greatest athlete in our family is her. She's the best. She's the best athlete in the family.
She started there as a center fielder and ended up as a shortstop.
Wow.
Yeah, she was playing shortstop in the tournament. And I looked at Kylie and I'm like, she's playing infield now? She's like, yeah, she moved in. And I was like, oh, cool. Tremendous hitter, a great athlete. But the whole thing starts tomorrow. It'll be on all day, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. The bracket play starts for the College World Series.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was over. I thought the Pac-12 ended. Okay, so we've got
the final 8 down in Oklahoma City.
So the College World Series for women's softball starts tomorrow.
Every game on TV. It'll be a lot of fun. I've had a lot of people stop me out and about with texts and DMs and stuff going, this softball's great. I really enjoy watching it. Like I've been telling you guys this for a decade since I was coaching. It's great. But the Pac-12 is done. I was bummed out Saturday night. They had the late Pac-12. It ended late, and it was done. And then the irony is that, like, that's when Bill Walton passes. I've seen those tweets and stuff, pictures of him going, he couldn't live without the Pac-12. It's kind of sad. College sports is complete mess. Yeah. It's going to be completely messed up. Look at this.
Dave Pasch, who was someone who called more Pac-12 basketball games than anybody else, alongside Bill Walton wearing a tank top of some sort. I'm thinking that's Poly Pavilion. I've never been there, but that looks like probably Poly Pavilion to me for UCLA. But
is that it?
I think it is. I think it's Poly Pavilion. Just look at the colors behind and where Bill would be comfortable pulling out a tank top.
Bill was comfortable doing anything.
True. There will never be another Bill Walton. I completely agree. Love you and miss you, my friend.
Absolutely.
I mean, I will never forget the conversations he used to have, both with, I had them and other people, like his free nature of talking about being under the influence of substances was so interesting. that he never played, never paid for it. Nobody ever questioned it. He talked about being high on mushrooms, taking LSD, being high on cannabis. Like like it was not a big deal. And he went to the Grateful Dead concerts all the time. And he never was sober. He was always on something. He was always, and like everybody just like, that's Bill Walton. Ha. And I was like, this is so interesting. Like, could any other former athlete pull this off? Any broadcaster could pull this off.
But he did it back then.
No, he did it now.
He would stay true to himself.
Yeah, I don't know when he was sick. I don't know if he was taking it when he was sick on chemotherapy. I'm guessing he wasn't. But I remember when I was in Omaha, I had an interview with him, and he literally talked about going to the Dead show and how messed up he was at the Dead show. Like, he wasn't sober. Like, I was on a trip to the moon, Matt. My body was there with the dead, but my mind was somewhere in the stratosphere, circling around the cosmos, listening to Jerry Garcia's guitar licks, taking me on a ride that for 10 hours, I was like, this is crazy. This is like openly talking about taking a trip at a Dead show. And everyone's like, yep, that's fine.
When we worked in the risk room, you got one control for the audio, right? You'd have all these screens.
Right.
We did it in the book too, but it was easier in the book because it was at night and there was only 1 or 2 games that was even of relevance. But you always tried to put the Bill Walton game on the sound.
Of course.
For entertainment purposes. Yeah. In the risk room, it's you and 1 or 2 other guys. It was always the Bill Walton game. No matter if you needed this other game for 50 dimes or whatever, it was like, we're listening to Walton because he got it. I think he got it. Like I like to say, nobody knows shit. Sorry, Will. We'll get that one out of the way 22 minutes in. And it was me. I paid a prop today for the first swear. I think Bill Walton knew. And the way he lived his life. Like, he just knew. Yeah. Whatever that expression is. He had it. Pay homage to him. All right, now we can move on. I felt like we glossed it over. You did it good justice. I needed to say my piece. Prayers out to the family and everybody that enjoyed Bill Walton. The Dave Posh,
his son,
Twitter feed has been unbelievable.
The stories are awesome. The stories are so cool.
Unbelievable. I feel like we've kind of lived a little bit of that. Like, everyone has their own text thread groups and different things.
Yeah.
Like, I hope it's years and years and years before you and I will share some of the stuff that we've texted and all these things. Right. But that's absolute gold. And that's a friend. That was special. I was reading that this morning.
Oh, it's sad. I mean, you tell he knew that was coming, that like this wasn't a shock to people close to Bill, and maybe he was preparing that, but he worked this past basketball season, a ton of games.
He came here for the last Pac-12 basketball
championship. Right. I mean, can you imagine what he must have been going through and feeling, and like, how tough it must have been for him to get through that. And nobody knew. If you ever need a better representation of what you talk about and what you mentioned earlier, but nobody knows what someone's going through.
Oh,
I mean, this guy was dying. Literally, he was dying, and he was still working and still going to these games because it's what he loved to do.
Yep.
And I mean, I remember when his son was playing for the Lakers, when Luke Walton was playing for the Lakers, and I remember I interviewed him and how proud he was. He's like, my son, I'm a diehard Celtic. I'll always be a Celtic, but my son playing for the Lakers, it's just one of those things. You have to, like, my son's in the NBA, and that's all that matters. His son went on to become a coach in the NBA and do a lot of big things. So it's definitely a sad time for anybody with the NBA. I loved what Boston did afterwards. I thought it was pretty interesting to hear just the tributes coming from the Celtics immediately once they got the trophy in their hands after the win last night. All thoughts went to Bill Walton, and started talking about him and dedicating the victory to him and how important he was. If you guys are young, you probably have only seen Bill Walton with the towel waving on the sidelines for the 1986 championship. That was
here.
He always says, he always says, I was just a towel waver for Larry Bird. And it's actually not the case at all. The guy was an absolute Hall of Fame dominant, one of the most dominant centers the game had ever seen. Injuries just completely took him off the floor too much.
Right.
Couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's
but when healthy, he
felt some important minutes for that team.
Without a doubt. Robert Parrish, they don't win the championship. They've all talked about it. Like, they don't win it. They needed him to come in and spell when they went big. It was Parrish and Walton on the floor. Right. When they wanted to go a little bit smaller, it was Walton and Kevin McHale who were on the floor together. but absolutely, he was a gigantic part of that team. They needed everybody in that team.
No
I mean, look at that
question.
roster: Larry Bird, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson, Bill Walton, Emil Carr. Yeah, I mean, that 86 team is stupid. The 86 team is just like Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. It's the best basketball team of my life. People say, what's the best team you ever saw? I mean, I was only 9, but that team was incredible. And I got a chance to interview and meet so many of them. I've never talked to Larry, but I've interviewed McHale. I interviewed Dennis Johnson. I met Dennis Johnson a bunch of times in Andover because he played in a golf tournament there. And I had all these signed Dennis Johnson hats. He's now passed on, but so Dennis Johnson's passed on from that team. Now now Bill Walton's passed on from that team. But I mean, that team was ridiculous. Like, just absolutely a ridiculous roster of talent. Larry was the MVP of the league. Robert Parrish, Hall of Famer. Kevin McHale, Hall of Famer. Larry Bird, Hall of Famer. Dennis, DJ, Ainge going on to do huge things as a coach and general manager, and just having a huge impact on the game of basketball. So sad, no debating sad for that. But Boston gets the sweep.
Yep.
If Halliburton plays in either game 3 or game 4, do they get one of them?
I don't know. They should have had 3 of them. They legitimately should have won 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He played in 2, didn't play in the other 2. Didn't matter.
Nope. They couldn't close. They just couldn't close. Boston had 3 wins.
Coffee is for closers. They didn't get no coffee.
Nope. They had chances to be in that series, and they just kept turning the basketball over in the final 5 minutes. I mean, Rick Carlisle, a guy on speaking of the 86 team, Carlisle was a reserve on the 86 team with the Celtics. I mean, it all comes full circle. I mean, there's so many things to do. He talked about, have you seen the story that Carlisle told before the game about how Bill Walton introduced him to his wife?
No.
So really, go search it out. I won't tell it and won't spoil it, but go search Rick Carlisle's story about how Bill Walton Rick Carlisle met his wife with the help of Bill Walton. So it's just a really cool story. But that's what that guy meant to basketball. It meant to so many people. And they have that with Rick Carlisle on the sidelines and have the Pacers, get bounced. But I was fascinated by, you have to learn how to win in the playoffs still. And Boston had to learn how to win in the playoffs. And the Celtics, after all of that hand-wringing and just garbage talk.
Yeah.
It's too easy. They aren't going to win in the clutch. They can't perform when the games are close. They can't come up with a clutch shot. They can't play defense when it really matters. All those things got answered in this series. They all got answered. The Jaylen Brown shot, Jason Tatum's defense in crunch time, the behind-the-back pass that he did to Al Horford in game 3. I mean, just like works of art. I mean, I agree with Jaylen Brown. Hang that thing in the Louvre. I mean, are you kidding me? You got 2 guys on him behind his back, pass to Al Horford, 3, bam, game over. I mean, that's just in an Eastern Conference Finals.
It's a young team for Indiana.
100%, and they're going to be there. As long as Halliburton can keep his darn hamstring in check, that thing seems to be a nagging injury that won't stop. But Pascal Siakam and him,
they learned a lot.
I agree.
They grew a lot. They played meaningful basketball.
I mean, they found out that Andrew Nembhard, they got a guy in Andrew Nembhard that need to give him more of the ball. Like, they found out that they were underplaying him because he went off in game 3 and game 4.
Yeah, the matchups were right for him. I don't know. I mean, like TJ McConnell had a great series.
Yep. Missed a bunch of bunnies, though. I mean, a lot of missed easy shots for him. And he takes so long to shoot the 3. My gosh, it's like the sun comes up and down by the time the guy locks and loads and shoots a 3. He does hit it 40% of the time, but he's just so slow. I was super happy.
Wow, Nick Tom just came in a chat and said the Pacers won't be back here. This was the Hawks Eastern Conference final team.
Disagree entirely. Totally different age.
Was this a one-hit wonder?
No, I disagree with you. I disagree with that entirely. Halliburton, they just maxed him out. So he's a max contract guy. He, as I said, he has to stay healthy. But if Halliburton stays healthy, they now have a really interesting 1-2 punch at the point guard spot with Andrew Nembhard and with Tyrese Halliburton. You have Pascal Siakam for a whole year now. Okay. Didn't have him. That was a trade midseason that changed a lot of things. They have Miles Turner, who all of a sudden is a 3-point shooter, which is incredible for a guy his size, who can shoot from the outside. TJ McConnell is a really nice 2-guard option coming off the bench. Obi Toppin has been great for them, double digits in every single game except one against Boston this year. They played 9 times. He was in double figures 8 of those 9 games. Like, I like that roster a lot. I think that roster's got a lot of really cool things coming, and I think they're going to have a chance to add. I think free agents are going to want to play there. I think people who are going to go to where do I want to play? Indiana was not an option before this year, and I think Indiana this offseason is 100% a destination for certain free agents.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I was super impressed with them. I really thought they were going to win a game. From the Boston side of it, we got Jalen, got his, like the kids like to say, got his flowers.
I mean, his reaction to winning the Eastern Conference MVP, was as pure of joy I have seen an athlete have.
Yeah,
like this was a guy who was waiting for someone to just tell him, "You're good."
Yeah.
He was already going, they're going to give it to Jason. It's Jason. Give it to Jason. It was 5-4. Jason Tatum almost won it. But whoever had that deciding vote had Jaylen Brown winning Eastern Conference MVP. And he was. Jason Tatum should not have won that. He was not the MVP of that series.
No, I don't think so.
Jaylen Brown proved he's worth the contract. I mean, there's so many things, not to go totally myopic Celtic on you, but there's so many interesting things about that award being given to Jaylen Brown that justifies and validates a lot of the calls that Brad Stevens made during all of this tumult around Boston, because they go to the finals, they lose to the Warriors. They come back the next year. They have to make the call. They extend Jason Tatum. They give Brown the max. And everyone's like, Brad Stevens, what are you doing? They can't win together. These two dudes need to be separated. And Brad's like, no, they don't. They can win together. We're going to win together. I'm going to add Porzingis. We're going to make changes. Okay, after we lose to Miami, I got a 34-year-old head coach who got his ass handed to him in the Eastern Conference Finals by Miami. 0-3. They come back. They go to Game 7. They lose. They bring in Porzingis. They're now in the NBA Finals for the first time, since the loss to the Warriors in 22. But Brad stepped away after that loss. Brad went upstairs. Danny Ainge left. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Brad Stevens, you're voluntarily leaving to go become a GM? Like, what are you doing? It just, that making the finals validated so many of those decisions. I have a massive Brad Stevens man crush. Like, absolute. I love Brad Stevens.
You really do.
I loved him at Butler. I loved him with Boston. Yeah. I am so happy for him and Jaylen Brown for stuffing all of this down the throat of the stupid, myopic Boston sports media that couldn't wait. And they were holding their breath, waiting to be able to just eviscerate this team for losing. And there were a lot of them that thought they were going to lose. They were going to lose this series because they can't, this young, hungry Indiana team. Look out. Look what they did.
No, it's better for business if they lose.
100%.
It's better for business.
And being back there and listening to the garbage that gets spewed. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how Boston sports fans sit around and listen to people who are paid a lot of money to say nothing but wrong takes. And they're proven wrong all the time. And they're never held accountable for anything. It's amazing to me about how they question this team. They're still trying to say that this is, hey, Halliburton got hurt. So, third series in a row, the team's best player gets hurt. Now they're going to play, who's getting hurt? Kyrie, or it's going to be, you're going to see an injury happen to Luka. So Boston gets even an easier gift to the championship. It's just garbage. It's absolute garbage.
There's a lot of other shows talking about the path.
They all are.
Funny.
Over and over again. Yes, football guy. Derek White is the best player on the Boston Celtics. I'll go to my grave.
Hold on. Drew Holiday's pretty good too.
Damn good.
Drew Holiday established himself as a guy that'll get you a clutch basket when you need it, not afraid to go to the hoop, make a play, get fouled, whatever, and play killer lockdown defense. Like when he gets on a guy and wants to be on that guy, you're on the other team. You're going, Drew got him tonight.
How the hell did the Bucks let him go? Like, I think to trade him to Portland to get, and I know you're thinking Dame time is coming to Milwaukee. You got Dame time and you got Giannis. You got this unbelievable superstar tandem, but you gave up your glue. You gave up that guy.
You
just said
guy.
that you like your best player.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Drew's got him. Like, go ahead, put a line through that guy. He's not getting us tonight. Who else is beating us?
Man.
And Boston had that. Remember the Marcus Smart thing? This is again back to Brad Stevens. The Marcus Smart move, letting him go to Memphis and saying, hey, we're not going to re-sign Marcus Smart. And we talked about this.
Yep.
The heart of Boston, the dog that you need. Do you have that dog? That was Marcus Smart. And they allowed Drew Holiday comes into this team. And in the beginning, it was a little bit shaky, but now you see why they wanted him. Because he's a much better offensive player than Marcus Smart.
Huh.
He's a much better player.
Who you got to find guys in this spot when things are going tough for the star guys or whatever. Somebody says, give me the ball. I'll do it. Like, I don't feel like Marcus had felt forced a little bit more.
100%. Jacking threes.
Get out the way.
Do you remember what the Warriors did to him in the finals? They basically dared Marcus Smart.
They said, shoot.
Go.
Right?
They said, shoot. You, buddy.
Backed
Steve
off.
Kerr. Yeah, Steve Kerr was like, let him shoot. And he went 1 for 12 in one of those games or something like that. And it was like, keep shooting, Marcus. Keep shooting, Marcus. He just wasn't that talented. He worked his ass off to get to become an NBA player, to be offensively talented, but not naturally. Drew is a naturally gifted three-point shooter. And when he wants to knock down threes, you saw it in the series against the Pacers. They gave him shots and he made them pay for it.
And he went and he took a couple basketballs right to the basket, got fouled with and ones, and then went back and got a steal. After he knocked the free throw down, just to remind him, he went and would pick somebody up at half court and bam, bam, bam.
Give Big Tone his props. Okay. This guy came in, said Boston in 4. He bet it. He said it. You and me both. Me and you both said no. I didn't agree. You didn't agree. Good call out of you. Okay. Good call out of you, Big Tone, to say Celtics were going to sweep the Pacers, and it's just what they did. I didn't think it was going to happen. If they don't win the finals, it doesn't change anything for me. But I mean,
you're so full of caca.
It doesn't. What does it change? It
you
changes
measure things in championships.
Correct. But it doesn't change my love of Brad Stevens.
That'll never change.
You have a 35-year-old head coach who went to the NBA Finals. The first time since 1969 when Bill Russell took the Celtics to the NBA Finals. That was the last time a 35-year-old coach. He was a player coach when Bill Russell
can't
even do that anymore. Okay. 1969 was the last time a 35-year-old head coach took a team to the NBA Finals. You got to give Stevens and you got to give Joe Mazzulla a ton of credit for getting this team to where it is. If they lose it again, it's a bad mark.
You're going to be whining.
I would be furious, but I'm not
firing Mazzulla.
No.
Better not.
No. I told you that. If he had been swept by Miami, I said fire him, but he didn't get swept. He came back, forced the game 7. I said, I'm good with him. He made the NBA Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals. You can't fire the guy at 35 years of age. You need him to be around. I need more guys like Sam Cassell on that bench. I need more guys who have won championships. I need more guys who have been there before.
More guys like White. I need more guys like Drew Holiday.
Agreed.
Like,
I need a champion.
We got our 2 guys. It's clear.
There's nobody.
Now they added this monster in Porzingis.
Yep.
They got a really good team.
But there's nobody on that team that has been, I guess, Drew Holiday. Drew has been. So Drew's been on that team. So Drew's seen a ring. There's nobody who plays big. Holiday's the only one who's actually played big minutes in a championship for a championship team. I need more. If they lose this series, I need more guys who know what it means to win in a championship setting.
Championship or bust.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's been that. Yeah, it is. Of course it is. I mean, it's a failure. If Boston loses, the year's a failure. I'm not debating that point. It's a failed season, of course. This is the best shot for this young group to win a championship and to literally shut up every single naysayer in NBA media. Tatum can't perform. Tatum can't win. Everyone forgetting how old LeBron was, how old Michael Jordan was when they won their first championship. Okay. Tatum is still younger than they were. If he wins this year, Tatum is still younger than Michael's first and LeBron's first. So it's just one win in one ring, but it's number 18. It gets off the tie, which is a fake tie with the Lakers. And it's what Boston has been championing literally since Paul Pierce retired. Would they win another championship? Would they get to 18? That chase for 18, banner 18 has been the refrain every year since 2008. It's been a long time for this franchise to win a championship, and it's going to be a super fun series. But Chris Forsberg on this show, Dave said it. Every time Boston plays Luka, Luka does something stupid. He just does something stupid. So the Mavericks are not the Pacers. And I don't think Boston, the best thing that I saw and read from last night after Boston won was the reporters saw this. It was a private conversation between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen walked over to Tatum, pointed him in his chest and said, 4 more. 4 more. Like, we're not done. All of this, we're not done.
Right.
Get ready. We got to go win. Because if we don't win, all this is for nothing. So I like that the team wasn't really celebrating, even though Jaylen Brown got his moment last night and his family was there and they were all so excited because he hadn't won anything like that in an NBA uniform. So that was really cool.
I can't wait for if Boston loses, you're going to see, you were just back there. There's people that can't wait for them to lose.
Agreed. 100% better. It's 100% better for the media in business if Boston loses. If this team wins, it's going to be interesting.
Did you watch any of the Western Conference while you were back there?
Of course. I had bets on it. Yeah. That series, I've crushed that series. Pre-game over, in-game under. I've killed that series. I love that series. Keep that series going, please. Like, that's just been an absolute over 207, over 208, under 222. It's an auto pre-in-game.
Yeah.
All 3 games. That's cashed. All 3 games so far in the Western Conference. Again tonight.
They finally
jacked it up.
3-game total tonight. You see that?
Yeah. So I think it could go under tonight. 210.5, 211, 212. It may go under tonight. Tonight may be the game that goes under. So I stayed away. I was like, I'm going to stay away from that tonight. I'm not in love with that total, but I will get to it later. But I don't think we're seeing a sweep tonight. Dallas, game 2 win, 5-3 over Edmonton. I didn't watch much of this, but the Stars are now up 2-1 on the Oilers. They're now the odds-on favorite to win it all.
The Oilers started out so good. Scored 3 minutes into the game, go up 1-0. Score again to go up 2-0.
My flash score, bang, bang. I was on the plane. I was like, whoa, 2-0 already. I was like, I'm watching the basketball game, but it was 2-0. I was like, okay, that game's over.
Like, everything that could have gone right did. They were playing perfect.
And then
the second period happened.
3 goals in what, like 4 minutes?
3 minutes and 33 seconds.
My phone was like ding, ding, ding. I was like, what the hell is 3-2? Because it was at halftime. It was 2-0 Oilers.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say how I can do this, but I've got different ways I can make a bet. I almost bet the Dallas Stars because I had internet. So I had internet on the plane. I was like, might be able to make a play or two here. And I didn't do it. I choked on it. I was like, damn it. Because it was like plus 450 or something. It was a great odd to bet on Dallas to win the game.
Me and Ranieri were on Sports Grid. It was plus 2.5, minus 110.
Wow.
They went to the 2.5 number, up 2 goals. It's usually 1.5, but the book flipped it to 2.5 because it felt like Edmonton was just going to score the next goal.
Right.
So whoever was working that game at that joint moved it to 2.5. And Joe said to me point blank, you have to make this play, don't you? And I'm like, absolutely. Even if it doesn't win, it's a good bet. Taking 2.5 with all this time left. Right. If they score the next goal, Joe, you're going to be sitting good.
They scored
bang, bang.
3.
Right. And it all flipped where we were talking about it while it was 2-0. Like, geez, we might have to make Edmonton the odds-on favorite if they win this game over the Eastern Conference. And then it flipped.
Boy, did it ever. 2 goals in the third period, 3-3. And I was like, okay, 3-3. And then third period comes and it's 2 goals, 5-3 win for Dallas.
Oh, Well, when Edmonton scored, I thought, okay, they can salvage this whole thing, right? They didn't. Dallas scores, gets the empty netter, and now you have all the questions going again. How did we blow another lead? What are we doing goal? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know. Ottinger was great again when he had to be.
Yep.
To the point where I started looking at the Conn Smythe market and going, well, if it's the Rangers, it's Shesterkin.
Okay.
He's clearly above everybody else.
Yep.
And if it's Dallas, I don't know if it's Wyatt, the kid that scored the goals, but not last night. Robo scored the goals last night. Robertson, I can't remember his first name, but he scored the hat trick. I think it's Ottinger. And if you look at those numbers, like before Shesterkin stood on his head in game 3, he was 5 or 6 to 1 to win it. The Rangers are like plus 250 to win a Stanley Cup. So
Right.
I think that's another way of attacking the market. But the hockey's been unbelievable. I mean, it's been so good. It's been so good.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. We'll get to more of the games. You got another one tonight here to see what's going to happen in the Eastern Conference. We'll get into that, but time for Ohtani Watch. All right, a couple baseball stories from the weekend. Ohtani is making progress with the elbow, but he's having the best year at the plate in his career so far. And some people are asking, should he not pitch again? Should he just be a hitter, given what he's doing at the plate?
This has been the question since he's been in the league.
Right.
Then he gets hurt the second time. They thought they dodged the bullet the first time. We asked these questions on this show way back when we were in its infancy. We were talking about this. I've been talking about this with the guys at MLB Network. When we were talking about his free agency, we had a price for him to do both and a price for him just to hit.
Right.
We thought, but he's that good of a hitter. I don't know. Do you?
So the numbers are this. Ohtani is 29. Entering play yesterday, Ohtani led the majors in batting average, 336. Total bases, 131. In 53 games as the DH for the Dodgers. He's also tops in the National League in slugging percentage, on base percentage, and OPS plus. I mean, he's the best hitter in the National League. And he's pitching and progressing. And it's just about, he is now throwing 60 to 70 pitches.
Yeah.
They're increasing the distance after the Tommy John surgery that he had end of last year. And some are going, well, hold on a second. If you can be a transformational hitter and you can be the best hitter in the game, why do we need you to pitch?
What do they? I don't know if they do.
I mean, they're paying him to pitch, right? They're paying. I mean, he got the contract, the $60 million a year contract, because he's both a hitter and a pitcher, right?
Would you let him pitch?
I would make him a closer. I would have him come back and be the John Smoltz. I would just say, you're going to close games, kid. You're not going to be a starting pitcher again. Like, we're not going to have you do that. He's an unbelievable pitcher. I get it. He's unbelievable. He can throw the ball 100 miles an hour, great movement. I get all the things that come up with it. I get why, if you're the Dodgers, you want to utilize that talent. But I would have him be a closer or middle reliever, or I wouldn't have him be a starting pitcher and have him go once every fifth day. I just think you're going to run yourself into more and more trouble and more. I mean, if he can, I mean, think about it. Teams, it's a great point, Rob. Teams pay huge money for closers. So why not pay him why not have him be the closer and have him be a dominant hitter? It just seems like having him pitch is not needed for a guy who has proven, if he goes and hits 350, and leads the league in OPS, top 5 in home runs, top 5 in RBI, top 5 in all the big hitting categories.
Right.
Why do you have to risk it and have him be hurt and not be effective?
Put it in the chat. If you guys had Ohtani, would you tell him he's hitting only, or would he hit in pitch?
You want a poll or no?
Yeah, do a poll. I want to see what our old baseball heads think in the chat. Got a bunch of people that just joined us via Twitter and in our YouTube chat. Would you let Ohtani pitch?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't let him pitch anymore. I'd make him or have him close games. I would not have him be a starter where he's out there throwing 100 pitches. You know, just how tired you get. I know he's the DH
starter versus closer thing.
Right.
If he has to be good with it, because you got to come in and throw gas. Like you got to throw hard
for 3 outs.
That's fine, but you got to warm up. You got to do it multiple days back to back. He's never done that before.
Fair.
Not that he can't do it.
No, that's a good point. It's fair. It's a good point. Oh no, DeJuice, it is next season. He's not pitching this year. He's not pitching.
Oh,
this year.
He ain't pitching this year.
He ain't touching the mound this year.
Oh,
This is for the future. This is for next year.
No. Yeah, no. There's no pitching this year at all.
No.
I don't even want to entertain it in the playoffs.
Oh, he could though. That can happen. He'll be on the roster. He can pitch. He'll be by then.
But
he'll be good.
Like only they know if he's warming up and throwing bullpens on the side and all the other stuff. It's not like you were a pitcher and you're just going to throw high leverage innings in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it.
Right. Fair. But I mean, he could. I mean, they could have him pitch. If they wanted to have him pitch in the postseason, he would be eligible to pitch.
D-Stout reporting for duty, sir.
What's up, man? How are you?
He's just
arriving. Have you seen? Well, hold on. We'll do the Acuna story first. The Braves lost Acuna for the year. Another ACL. His other ACL, not the one he blew up in 21. His other ACL. Are the Braves done? They already have tough time scoring as is. Now their best hitter is done for the year.
I saw this today. They have one less win than they did last year at this point right now.
Yep.
If anybody can fix it, it's them.
Of course. And they're getting Riley's coming back. They got wet. I mean, this is not like the year is over and the sky. I mean, remember what happened last time when he got hurt? They went to the World Series. Remember when he got hurt in 21? So like, it's not like this team's season's over. No. But damn, is this a bad blow? like this is like, ouch.
It's crazy because when I saw it Friday night, I was like, oh, how many markets do I have to adjust right now? Like I think of always in terms of the book, like, all right, we got to fix the East.
Okay.
We got to fix the National League. We got to fix the playoffs. Yes, no. We got to fix the pennant. We got to fix the World Series. And then what it really does, and I haven't even looked at this yet, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to talk about it today with Kevin on Game Time Decisions, but he wants to talk about the National League MVP.
Yeah, fair. It does change the market dramatically.
Changes the market dramatically.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
off the list, he was the favorite.
Right. And look, in Cubby, you're absolutely right. Sox gave them Sale for basically nothing. And also the fact that they're going to get Strider back. You know, Sale's covered up the fact that they haven't had Strider. So with how good Chris Sale has been pitching, if he keeps this up, which we all know he does not. Chris Sale is phenomenal in April and May, and Chris Sale sucks in September, October. So like, you know, all you Braves fans, like, be careful with going like, this is awesome. Yay, Chris Sale. Chris Sale is the biggest first half pitcher in the history of baseball, potentially. Like, he's a Hall of Fame pitcher in April, May, and June. In July, August, and September, he's no bueno. He gets tired quickly. So I'll be curious. It's a good point, Dave's Daily Pick. Hernandez, Robert from the White Sox may be available for a team like the Braves to make a move, to go get them, to go at a bat, to go help them out. But they have help coming off the IL that I think if I'm a fan of the Braves, yeah, it sucks. Yes, he's incredible, but I don't think the year is over or championship aspirations are done here for the Braves with the Acuna Jr.
This is really, I just opened up the National League MVP odds.
Okay.
Mookie Betts, odds on favorite now, plus 135. These are as of FanDuel Sportsbook. If you guys have a sportsbook that you'd like to make us talk about your odds, you can reach out to us, thebvbshow.com, askthebvb@gmail.com, all that other stuff. We'll talk about your odds as well. I just happen to be looking at the FanDuel ones. Shohei second, 4-1. William Contreras plus 750. Bryce Harper 10-1.
Ooh, whoa, I like that price.
Marcelo Osuna 20-1. Fernando Tatis Jr. 20-1. Alec Boehm 20-1. And then Freddie Freeman all the way down at 40-1. And then it gets silly after that.
Right.
So it's I guess it's one of those guys, but those numbers tell me it's Mookie's to lose now. As long as he stays healthy and does what he does, he's going to win it. At least that's what the odds makers think. Or Shohei's right there. Can Shohei win it just hitting? No.
No, don't believe so. Maybe, but I don't think so.
He's 4-1, second choice.
I know, but I think you'll split votes with him, Mookie, Freeman. Dodger players, I think you're going to have a hard time winning it just because they're going to split votes.
Bryce Harper's pretty good.
I like that Bryce Harper price a lot. 10-1 on Bryce Harper with the year he's having the Phillies where they are. Like that market.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Something happened over the weekend that I'm not sure I've ever seen it before. Because do you ever remember a retirement of an umpire getting praised and celebrated the way that Hernandez is walking away, where Angel Hernandez retired mid-season? I mean, the number of memes and jokes and players, both current and former, to highlight this retirement is wild.
It's you asked, have you ever seen a celebration like this before? I've never seen one umpire talked about as much as Angel Hernandez, period.
Fair.
He's been terrible behind the plate.
Terrible.
For a number of years. The
joke, you see that joke about him signing the retirement papers and like the line is here and his signature is up here? That's tremendous.
I didn't see that.
That's great. I was like, that's awesome.
People are so clever. Oh,
yeah, I agree. Having to do a farewell tour and get booed in every city. Everybody hated him. I mean, the guy was universally hated.
Well, this is the weird thing, right? Like, he's retired.
But he walked mid-year. Why did he walk now?
I don't know. That was the question I was going to ask back, was why?
Oh, I'm petrified. You know what I thought first thing when I saw it.
Well, it's of course, because we're in that gambling myopic world.
I was like, please don't tell me there's some stupid thing leaking out that he's got somebody hacked his account and they found out that he's been betting on sports, and now there's a full investigation going into whether or not he was betting on games he umpired.
No way.
Like, please do not have that story drop.
Right. Please,
but mid-year retirements always make me go, okay, why?
Well, he had back issues.
Okay.
So maybe it's travel with the back and the health, and who knows? I don't know
about ahead of time.
That was the thing, is not that he was retiring. It's now. It's May 28th. That was what I was
weird.
Like, wow. Okay.
Why? Something smells like what? Why? The very first thing I thought when I saw this, I was like, oh, everyone's so excited he's retiring. Yes, the worst umpire in the game. Get him out. He's been horrible, blah, blah. We've all known this for so long. Voluntold. That's a really interesting way of saying it, George.
Yep.
He was voluntold to retire.
I didn't even know how that's how you spell. I've heard that used before, but that's voluntold is actually how you spell it, George Mason. Thank you. That's
really good.
He was voluntold.
He was voluntold to retire.
Now, we'll pay you out the rest of the year. You're retired.
Time to go. Time to go. Like, we're tired of
enough
having
going on. We don't need this negative press exposure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye's right. See you later. Watch the speakers, boys and girls. Brigade Proxy Service NFL story of. All right, we got a lot going on here. We've been signing people up. Dave has been seeing some people. Text line has been rocking with people coming to town and sending text messages, asking what's going on. You guys can text 702-570-8255, or you guys can go to www.thebvbshow.com. Make an appointment to be a part of the Brigade Proxy Service this coming football season. Once again, in case you guys do not know, we've got big money on the docket, $16 million in guaranteed prizes, 2 ways to win. No rake, $6 million in the million, $10 million minimum guaranteed in Survivor. Most likely that number is going to be over, just like last year.
Yep.
You guys can get involved with the Brigade proxy service very easily. Get in touch with us here for this season. Again, thebbbshow.com, or you can text us at 702-570-8255.
Can I just make a brief little
Of course.
hiatus on that?
Yes.
Text the number. We'll meet you at the book. We'll sign you up if you want to do it. If you want a price shop, you can do that as well. There's other proxies that are doing a great job.
They
God
are.
bless them. But if you're gonna motherfuck me, just do it to my face. That's all I ask. Please. That's that. If you're gonna say stuff about Peralt, do it to his face. Because if you say it to him about me, guess what? I'm probably gonna find out.
Probably gonna find out.
If
Evidence
you say
to be
it to
shown.
me about him,
Right. I'm gonna find out.
he's 100% gonna find out because you're talking to him when you're talking to me.
Pretty
You're
much.
talking to me when you're talking to him. Let's keep that. I just felt like I had to say that.
I agree. And I want to add something to that, though. We're not interested in any side deal. Somebody approached me yesterday and said, would you guys be my proxy if I gave you 40% of a Survivor entry? We don't want anything to do with that, guys.
Oh,
Okay. We're not interested in doing any of that. Okay.
Oh.
So we're not getting into side deals. We're not getting into cutting different people with different ways. Okay. We want to represent you. We want to be your proxy service. We want to have an awesome football year with you, but we're doing it on the up and up. Okay. We're not doing it with some side, but backdoor type of deal or having some type of like, well, if I give you this, will you give me that? There's no pro quos going on here with
one
us.
price and one deadline. That's it. One fee, one deadline. It's very simple.
And we've said this show's not for everybody. Our service may not be for everybody either. And that's
Maybe not.
okay. All right. If you want to work with somebody else, that's awesome. There's plenty of people who are doing this. We want to work with people who want to be, hand one-on-one. We're going to hold your hand in a lot of ways and make sure that you're taken care of. And it's really, hey, when you go to a boutique hotel and they take care of you and they're available on everything, that's what we are. All right. We're going to take care of, you're not a number to us. We're going to get to know you. We're going to communicate with you. We're going to make sure you're all set for your picks and your plays and you're comfortable. And you can watch us break down the games and you can go ahead and use whatever you want info that you get off the show on your own picks and plays for the Survivor and for the Circa Million. So, and Westgate for that matter as well. So it's not just Circa, it's Westgate as well on this. NFLPA wants to get rid of the OTAs, Dave. They are looking for a longer training camp. I bring this up because I'm wondering from a book perspective, does this matter? Because training camp is where most of the injuries happen. So a longer training camp, are we potentially looking at more injuries? Or because I heard Pat McAfee talk about this morning, and like every NFL player is jumping up and down about this, saying, finally, you're getting rid of the stupidest thing that we ever had to do. Right. Why do I have to go see my team in June? No one else has to do this. Like, NBA doesn't do this. Baseball doesn't do this. Right. Why do we have to show up for a week in the middle of off season and it's quote unquote voluntary, but if we don't show up, we get held accountable by our team because I'm not a team leader if I'm not showing up for voluntary, workouts.
Oh, that's good. I mean, if the players want it, I'm for it. Whatever the players want, that I'm for. So does it affect anything in the book? No, affects nothing. The schedule release affected more than this would. Will it affect? Are they going to play more preseason games?
No, this is in.
So they're going to have more practices in the middle of the summer. They're going to have another. They're going to add a week to training camp, which a lot of guys like to avoid. Period.
Longer. No, they're talking about having like the entire month, like early, like June. They're going to show up.
For what?
For training camp.
And spend 2 months in training camp?
6 weeks.
The players are for this?
Yes, they want this because then it's no OTAs. You don't have to worry about voluntary or involuntary OTAs. The off-season training programs are gone.
Holy crap.
What I mean, from a book perspective, it is kind of interesting. It's like training camp is where a lot of these injuries happen. So we're going to extend training camp? Are we having them in pads more? Are we going to have more contact during training camp or less contact during training camp? Is it going to be a lot of downtime and nonsense? Like, how does this all go?
So, Pittsburgh goes to St. Vincent's College.
Right.
In the middle of the summer.
But they come back. Remember, they come back the whole training camp's not there, just the beginning part of it.
Oh, but 3 weeks is there.
Then they come back to Pittsburgh and they run through. So they would spend further time at either one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, mid-June to early July is when voluntary, a longer training camp.
So we would just go to training camp in mid-July.
Yep, mid-June to early July. So, I mean, because technically training camp in August is not training camp. That's prep. That's not the training camp portion. Like when the Packers go to Minneapolis, to Minnesota.
They start playing games the first week. The Hall of Fame games
August.
are the first week of August.
Yeah.
Then the second week of August was the second game, was the first game for everyone else.
So you would be in.
So now you only play 3 games. So it's middle August.
That'd be 2,
end
right?
of August,
They want 2 preseason games. So you go end of June and you spend 6 weeks in training camp. Then you go back home.
Too much.
Okay.
I mean, that's absurd.
It's a lot, right? But then you'd not have to show up in May.
Well, it's like when guys go, spring training baseball is a month. What do we need more than a month to do this for football for? Like go at the end of July.
Right.
Or mid-July. Move it up 2 weeks. Like you're only replacing 1 week of right? The OTAs are 1 week. Or are they 2 weeks?
Pro Football Talk wrote, the existing series of phases and OTAs and mini camps that are followed by 6 weeks of downtime could be swapped out for 4 weeks of training camp. That would give players a lot more time off, and it would potentially make them just as ready for camp since they'd go straight from pre-training camp into training camp.
Fair. Okay, 4 weeks. That's all.
So voluntary on-field work would be gone in a longer training camp with players showing up in mid-June to early July to be a part of it.
Well, okay, so now we're talking better early season football.
Potentially.
Potentially, yes. Well, I would think you get more practice time, and they do these scrimmages where 2 teams practice in the same place. They hit the crap out of each other for 2 days.
Right.
And then they play like that. I think that iron sharpens iron type thing works better.
Oh, I agree. I mean, Belichick had talked about that a ton. He said, I don't care about preseason games. I love the preseason practices. Yeah. That's what he said. We accomplished way more getting guys ready for the year doing that than we did in any preseason show and pony game.
Correct. I agree. I mean, as a coach, I would love that. I think as a player, I would like that. Now it's a longer extended time right before the season with, yes, more potential for injury.
But with 18 games though, Dave, I mean, think about the length of time. Like
too much.
That's what I believe you need to have.
I think too much.
I think you really do need to have a universal week off. I think you need an all-star break type of week off. The entire league goes dark for 1 week. Give them all a chance to rest, and then you get going in first half of the year, second half of the year. You have another bye somewhere in there, but like week 9, week 10, week 11, whatever it might be, we're breaking, and the entire league is not playing for that one weekend.
Right.
To get everyone right, healthy, and good to go. If you're going to do this, I think you have to start considering that 18 game schedule, a 19-week 18 game schedule is really long with a training camp that starts in June. You play into February.
It's the 2 winning teams play into February. That's a long time, man. I don't know.
And then you have March, April, May off. You have 3 months, and then you flip back around and you're right back into camp. Uh-oh. That's tough.
Can't start football camp before July 4th. You just can't.
I would agree. I mean, it's so funny because everyone's talking about the weight of Patrick Mahomes right now, and they're saying like, Patrick is enjoying himself going on sitting sidelines with him and Travis Kelce are, sidelines for these games, and like you saw him walk into OTAs, and yeah, he looks like the banquet circuit's done pretty well for himself. But like, longer training camp, longer time to get into shape. Training camp used to be the time where guys got into shape. Now players are expected to be in shape before they get to camp. This one it may go back. It may go back to, hey, you know what? You can show up out of shape. You got 6 weeks. It's a training camp. You can. It's a fight camp. You can get ready for anything in 6 weeks.
My favorite thing about today is going to be about a recollection of today's date.
Okay.
In sports and how crazy things tie together. But in 1990, I went to training camp as a member of the media. my first internship summer in St. Vincent's. And I'd gone to basketball camp there as a teenager.
Right.
So, like, I knew how to get there. It's a small little school. And I was like, so I got to go every day and watch practice. Those guys were hitting this crap out of each other.
It was fun.
I was 5 feet from that Oklahoma drill watching them. I mean, like, and there was no social media back then.
Right.
So, I mean, guys were trying to rip each other's heads off. Like, they were this was like, I need to make an impression to keep a job.
Yeah.
And
but
the vets were trying to beat the rookies down. Like, it was incredible.
I remember.
I don't know if we need more of that.
I mean, I was the last training camp I covered was the Packers and the Chiefs when the Chiefs went up to Minnesota to run their training camp with the Packers. And it was wild to watch just when they were able to hit somebody else, how happy they were to hit somebody else. And they loved to take a shot when they had a chance to hit a guy. And the cameras weren't around. And you weren't going to get in trouble really for doing it. It was just a straight scrimmage. I mean, those guys laid the wood. Like they would want. And now this is, what I was in Omaha. I was in Des Moines. So it was 2010, 2011, somewhere in that range. But it was always like, damn, they're trying to kill each other. So I would be curious to hear what players who are in training camp going like, how many more fights are you going to have in camp? Like, are these guys going to kill each other? Like, they're going to be fighting like crazy because they're sick and tired of seeing each other and blocking against each other. And just, it happens. It's hot. It's muggy. It's the summer.
It's a lot.
So
if it means better early season football,
I would agree with you.
and
Yes.
if the players want to do it, then let's do it. Like, I don't know what they're doing in shorts and t-shirts in June.
Correct. And
in
shells.
May. Like, let's show up and run some 7-on-7s and let's do this.
JJ wants you to ask me about tickets off the air.
Oh yeah. He wants Raiders tickets for a game. I don't know a guy, but I'll check on it, JJ. I told you I was checking on it. I can get you this on the back of your hat now if you want. So,
Everybody. Yeah. We could take care of everybody now.
Yeah.
We got all that. So, during no, I'm curious to know which players will wear the cushion things that go on the helmets during games. Is that allowed? Can you wear that funky? That covers the logo.
About it, yeah.
Wear that stupid extra thing
on the field during the game. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my. Just get a better damn
JJ,
helmet.
you can put it on the side of your hat too, like that. Look at that.
That's true. Yeah. You can order the hats the same way that you guys are ordering in the Brigade proxy service.
Yes.
702-570-8255. You want a hat? Send a text saying want a hat. We can get you set up with that if you would like to be set up with. Okay, Illinois. This is a wild, interesting conversation. So we told you last week that Mass has decided that they're not going to do anything with their tax rate at the moment. That is not a fight that's over, by the way. They're still going to try to raise the rate. It's just a matter of how much are they going to raise it by. They're not going from 20 to 51%, which is what they tried to do. And there was a guy in Mass who went on like a 30-minute rant about the evil.
Timeout. Right. Yeah. The guy in Mass said timeout. Hold on. We're not doing that.
Well, no, his rant, there's a different guy. That's one guy's at timeout, but another guy went on a rant about all the evils of gambling, and everybody was like, shut up, just move on. Like they were annoyed with this long thing he was talking about how dangerous gambling is and all the problems in the state that are going to happen because of this, and we should get rid of everything. Forget the tax rate going up, get rid of it all. And everybody was like, just please shut up and move on, vote against this, and we're done. Illinois, kind of following suit here, they have a bill that has been approved. This is progressing here, where the biggest operators will pay the biggest amount of the tax.
Yeah.
FanDuel and DraftKings are poised to pay an extra $146 million a year in taxes, and the rest of the operators in Illinois would pay less than $25 million more.
Combined number, the 146.
Those two combined, yes, each.
FanDuel and DraftKings. That's not each.
No. Combined 146
combined number, 146
in taxes a year more.
It's a big hit. Hello.
It's a big number.
It's a big hit.
We talked about it with Mass. You don't think FanDuel or DraftKings would leave Illinois, do you?
They would leave it in a different way.
What do you
right?
mean?
I mean, I don't think they'll just pack up and go, although they might, and then you get zero tax revenue
from them. Yeah. You get it other ways, but
you get it other ways, but not if they're not there.
right.
You get nothing.
Yep.
Illinois would get
But
nothing.
that's leaving though. That's straight up leaving. Yeah.
Now, what they will do, and what a lot of smart people in the space, that opinion that we've had on the show here, we had Altruda on from Chicago.
Yep.
He's writing about it now every day. He's on the ground there. Brubaker's doing an unbelievable job talking about it. Alfonso's talking about it. What a lot of these guys are saying is that they'll reduce the spend, the promotional spend.
Does that matter to the state?
Well,
I don't think the state cares about that. If they
No. What it'll do is reduce their business.
Okay, but they're still going to have to pay. I mean, at least going into it, they'd be in a tax bracket. They'd have to get out of the tax bracket.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's a tax bracket right now that puts them into the 40%. So it's how it works. And I'm getting this off of Steve Ruddock's newsletter, who's tremendous. 25% for over $30 million in revenue, 30% for over $50 million in revenue, 35% for over $100 million in revenue, and 40% for over $200 million in revenue in the state. FanDuel and DraftKings are the only two that are in the top bracket. Everybody else is in the 30 to 35% range, but the vast majority is under 30 million. So they'd be in the 25% range. Is it fair to target the top operators in your state and say, you're making a lot of money, so we're going to have you pay more tax? Because it feels like if I'm FanDuel or DraftKings, I would say, wait a minute, why are you hitting us? We're the ones doing the most business. Sure, but the vast majority of your constituents are using DraftKings and FanDuel, and they may not like it if our prices change, or like, we can't have this.
Is my wife seriously texting us right now?
I do have YouTube TV. If you're asking me that question, yes, I do have YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I use. FYI, free plug for YouTube TV on YouTube. But yes, I do use. You can tell Jessica I do use entirely YouTube TV. Yes,
yeah, all right.
In my house. Tell her I have 4 TVs and they're all on YouTube TV.
I mean, I don't know what she's doing right now.
So again, does this make it problematic to operate in the state of Illinois, which is the 3rd biggest market legal in the country at the moment?
Every operator is going to have to really look themselves in the mirror and see what they want to do. People chose not to go to New York and will choose to never go to New York because of that tax rate. The people that went are considering. Some have already left. Some have thought, do we really need this? Do we need this type of presence here to operate?
So our guy, Chris Grove, who very well might appear on this show tomorrow, we're talking to Chris about coming on to talk about this. He wrote a tweet out that stated, and I don't know, I'd have him explain this tomorrow, but he said a tiered tax approach is one of several reasonable ways to ensure that tax increases don't have the unintended consequence of decreasing competition in Illinois for the online sports betting market.
Well, they have 2 different tax rates for retail and online.
Yep.
Which the tax rate thing won't affect Bet Rivers, which is the majority of the retail handle. When you see their difference, so it really will only affect the 2 bigwigs in Illinois. I think I don't want to say it'll open up competition. It'll cut the pie into smaller pieces, right? What's the incentive to do more business, to give more with that tiered rate the way it is? The incentive would be, let's do enough to exist here. Let's not give away all of that money anymore in a promotional spend. And let's not do as many advertisements. And we got it because we have to improve our margins. Okay. They've made it clear they're not going to pass it on to the customer. The operators have made it perfectly clear.
Because they can't. Because if you do that, then everybody who lives in Illinois drives to Indiana and they go ahead and bet in Indiana. Like if you have different pricing in different states, you're going to lose Chicago to Gary, Indiana is 30 minutes. I know it's a pain in the ass, but if you really want to get a bet in, you go to Gary, Indiana, like they used to do when Illinois wasn't legal and Indiana was. They all went to Gary. There's a big rest area. It was a big joke. Every car there was a 40-year-old dude with an app betting in Indiana. So they'll just do that. You can't have different pricing.
Ask me if I like living in Nevada, if I like living in Vegas.
Right.
I love it because if I lived in these other places and was trying to do this is crazy talk.
It's tough.
Trying to get a bet in, let alone trying to run a business where they change the rules. We agreed to this when we came in.
Midstream, right.
And you're just going to go, and this is perfect timing. This goes into effect July 1st if this works. Guess what's coming after July 1st? Training camp and football. Oh, you know what? Let's shelf this and talk about this after. Let's talk about this in 2025. Oh, no. We're going to talk about it right now. This is some, I don't know. This is the reason number. I think we're on like 7.2 million. Why I'm glad I'm not in the business right now, because I would be beside myself going to somebody say, can we talk about all this? This is enough right now. Let's all divide it up.
And I mean, according to the Capital News, Illinois, quote, sportsbook operators are threatening the nuclear button. A source close to DraftKings and FanDuel says, quote, all options are on the table, including withdrawing from the state.
You have to say that, even
of course
if it's
you do.
not true.
Yeah, right. It's saber rattling at its finest. It's just, I mean, you're not actually.
No, if you can survive without that big spend in that part of the business, I mean, you'll do it.
Right.
Right? You got to streamline. At some point, you have to. I mean, this is like personal finance 101. If you can't afford to do what you're doing, you can't do it.
Right.
You cut back. So, I don't know. I mean, does that mean other operators go in there and get that market share? Maybe. I mean, how many more new customers they're constantly getting new customers? Illinois has a lot of people that, guess what, take bets down the street.
Correct.
Or with other ways.
Right.
Those guys are going, they're probably at some club somewhere going, this is phenomenal.
Well, I mean, you've got this sports betting alliance, right? The SBA, as they call it. And what they're claiming that this would be a gift to the black market, claiming more taxes mean worse odds for players. Customers will have access to fewer promotions and bonuses. A tax hike will increase illegal offshore sports betting. They pay 0% taxes. I mean, they're not wrong with all that. I mean, those are legitimate things to point out.
Yeah. I'm
just not sure if the lawmakers really care. They're seeing DraftKings and FanDuel ads all over the place. You go to Wrigley Field, you walk up to the, Addison train stop, I think it was.
Yeah.
You walk up.
I got the picture of it.
DraftKings. 3 billboards. You can't miss it. It's smack in front of your face.
Right there.
DraftKings Sportsbook at Wrigley Field. I mean, you've got all these things. So they're like, wait a minute, you must be making a lot of money in the state. You must be pulling a lot of money down. They're looking at this going like, well, you guys would pay 51% in New York. We're Chicago. We're nearly just as big as New York City, and we want to play the same rules in the same pool as you guys.
Right.
We're jacking your rate. You'll pay it there. You're paying it here. I get the logic of a lawmaker. I do. I just wonder, will the state call the books bluff and say, okay, leave, and see what they do and see if one actually leaves? It's different. Illinois is different than Mass. DraftKings can leave Illinois. They can leave there. They can't leave Massachusetts. They have their headquarters. They're a top 5 employer in the state. They're not leaving Mass. Illinois, different story. Now they open up the book at Wrigley. I get that. Major capital investment to open up that sports book and get the license and all that crap. But I mean, that would be wild if the book, because in FanDuel's got the United Center. They've got the sports bar right now that one day will be a sports book for FanDuel.
You can take that sign off the outside and be done with it tomorrow.
Of course. I agree, but you still paid a lot of money to get the license done. Like you had to go get that license approved, and you paid a lot of money to get that retail license up and going.
But it's opportunity cost now.
Fair.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody's calling anybody's bluff. The taxes weren't enough,
Butchie,
that they've gotten.
Come on.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. There's guys that are waiting anywhere to take the business.
Right.
You
Drop
know,
the ball, somebody to pick it up. Fair. I agree.
for sure.
So we'll watch it. We'll see how it goes. All right. Can Minnesota stay alive tonight? Dallas is down to 1.5, opened at 3, totals 211 and climbing. Gone over all 3 games so far. Everyone thinks that we're going over again here in this game. I'm not so sure about that, but what are we looking at? Minnesota, Dallas. Who do you like?
I mean, as a book guy, I just want another game. I just wanted against the Celtics. I just wanted one more game. I don't know. It's a 1.5. It's going to come down to the end again.
You want narratives?
Maybe Minnesota's going to win.
You want narratives?
Sure.
There's 2 very big ones. One, tonight would be the last basketball game till June 6th if the Mavericks win, and Scott Foster is the crew chief.
Oh. Minnesota wins, right?
If you want to bet narratives, and I'm not saying it's smart to bet narratives, but this would be the end of TNT. This would be the last broadcast for TNT for the season, and it would go into the last year. Next year is the last year of TNT.
Give the boys and girls another poll. They voted 70% said Ohtani they would let pitch.
Okay.
30% no. Who wins the basketball game tonight? Minnesota or Dallas? MINDAL. P-Rod's going to have a vote pop up here. For those of you watching the show live, again, thank you for being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, vote in the poll. This interactiveness is part of the show. It's not a requirement. It's just part of what we do.
Minnesota. Money line.
You voted Minnesota?
I bet it. Money line. I bet it before I knew Scott Foster was working the game.
Yeah.
Because the NBA is not going to go dark for 9 days.
They can't control that unless it's fixed. It's
really? Because the Pacers game, you would Celtics fans were pretty darn confident that the NBA was going to extend that game last night.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Some of those calls were bonkers where you can't stop the turnovers. You can't stop the Pacers kept on turning the basketball over.
It was so bizarre. Like they would drive the lane and then just turn and throw it to nobody, to a Celtic.
Yep.
I was like, what are you doing?
They didn't know either.
Yeah, that was incredible.
All the calls. I will say this, though. Our friend Raheem Palmer is correct. Like the fact they didn't call a flagrant foul on Jaylen Brown when he hit TJ McConnell, I was stunned. Like,
why?
It wasn't intentional by any means, but he jacked him in the face. Like in the regular season, that is 100% going to be a flagrant foul.
See, like that's just a hard foul, like from back in the day.
I like that, but you and I are over the age of 40. These kids don't remember that.
They don't
remember any of that. So, like,
yeah,
I agree, Vinny. He almost knocked him out. Like, yeah, he almost knocked him out. That's true. It was a pretty rough, a rough shot.
It was a foul.
It was more than a foul. It was, but then again, Peyton Pritchard got kicked in the face and he had a shoe print on his face. So, like, there were some different things that happened in that game last night. They were a little bit wild. The referees, it's a playoff game. I'm with you. I didn't want the call to be made, but regular season, that's a flagrant 100% of the time. And it, kept Boston's momentum. It didn't give him an extra free throw. It didn't give Brown an extra foul. So you like Dallas tonight, or are you just doing the whole rope-a-dope thing?
I haven't decided yet what I'm wearing yet for Sports Grid.
Okay.
Because I really want the hockey to go 7. I almost feel like this would be good if we get this out of the way, get the basketball out of the way, and let us focus on the hockey exclusively playoffs for 4 days. Because I think we're going to get it extended.
More than that. Because the Stanley Cup doesn't do this. Stanley Cup will play. They don't schedule the way the NBA Finals does. They'll play. They'll figure out when they'll play.
Well,
and then
we got a high level hockey game for the next. If Florida wins tonight, we got at least 6 games in that series.
Yep.
If Edmonton wins the next game, we'll have at least 6 games in that series,
100%.
and it'll be exclusive. There'll be nothing else to talk about other than baseball, which is fine with me and the WNBA. Not besmirching the WNBA.
How much?
How much
are we talking WNBA betting?
I don't know, but a lot of people are getting into space.
Great.
A lot of people are talking about
Congratulations. Same people who do the pitching props. Congratulations. I'm not interested in
Whoa.
number. I'm not interested in number.
Seen the fire?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Nerfy.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Yerfy has caught on this year.
Don't care. Great.
Like a lot of people are doing the Yerfy.
It's awesome. Go crazy. It's going to flip like it always does.
Yeah.
Be 15-1 one day, be 15-1 the other. You guys will keep on betting Nerfies. You'll lose your shirt. It's fine. The books will adjust. They'll make prices that will be there. That's fine. Look, the WNBA betting, great. I will try to hold off as long as I can before I start betting the WNBA. I'd rather bet baseball. Personally, I know it's crazy, but I've done well in baseball this year.
Yeah.
I'd rather bet baseball this year than bet the WNBA. So I just, I'm not interested in number of outs and strikeouts and all the other, content space crutches.
Oh boy, here we go.
That are out there. It's great. You guys can all have them. It's just, if you're coming to the juice for that, you're not going to hear it because I'm not interested in doing it. Interesting stat though on this though for Dallas to go back to that. Well, who wins tonight? Rangers Panthers. Let's do that first. I like Florida.
I hope it's the Panthers. I think Igor was magic. They got outplayed, they got outshot, they got out hit, they got out everything except outscored. And the Rangers found a way to win a game in overtime that they really had no business winning.
But they won it.
And
up 2-1.
Right. And now if he does that again, they win.
That's hockey, right? That's hockey playoff. That's playoff 100%. Hockey. One guy does it. One guy stands on his head. Everything changes, and you're like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
I like Florida tonight, but I have not touched this game.
I haven't done anything yet with this.
I've done zero, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just watching this game. I'm both these series are very, very hard to bet. They're very, very inconsistent. I mean, this game was 2-2 after one. It was like in game 3 or game 2 rather.
5.5 under -120, and -160 is pretty much the universal price.
Yeah. Can Dallas do this? No team has ever won the NBA and NHL title in the same year.
Yeah, Dallas could. We've talked about this.
So Boston is 0-3 doing this.
Right.
New York is 0-2, but they were the closest because in 94, when the cup was won by the Rangers, the Knicks went to a game 7 in the finals.
Yeah.
And they lost. Would you bet it?
Thank goodness. Yeah, the Dallas scenario would be very beneficial for the house here. That would be because again, the Dallas prices on the Mavs part of this was very high.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a little, I had a lot of stuff tied to the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Nuggets lost, I said, all right, well, who's going to win this next series? So I have very little to Minnesota because I just wasn't sure. Like I was impressed with them winning, but I wasn't sure. But then the Dallas prices were right. And I said, all right, we'll put Dallas with the 4 finalists of the NHL.
Okay.
So the scenarios are good if it's Dallas.
I would vote the no.
I'm going to be forced to bet the Celtics.
I'm voting the no, but I think it's interesting to watch. No one's ever done it, and they're both in line to do it. Dallas is the odds-on favorite to win the cup, and the Mavericks will be in the finals potentially after tonight. So
they're plus 180 to win an NBA. So it's -220 plus 180 is what the series price is going to be with the Celtics and the Mavericks.
T-Wolves can't do 4 in a row.
Come on, bro.
I know. Just win one.
It's never been done.
Just win one, please. Just win.
It's never been done in the NBA.
Never been done. Almost happened last year. Came close. Boston nearly did it, but
you would have been completely insufferable if that happened.
Well, I think they would have lost the Nuggets in the finals, so it didn't really matter. But I don't think the championship changes if they did it. I think Denver still wins it all. So,
I mean, we were talking in a text thread yesterday with like our guy Steve, the cigar guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of people in Boston that have this convinced that this is done deal. No matter who they play. I mean, they're playing the Mavericks, but like I just presented it as an option in that thread. He's like, not happening.
It's not happening.
What?
It's not happening. I mean, I'd be stunned if Boston. I mean, I think it's gonna be a hell of a series. Porzingis comes back.
You think the Mavs could beat the Celtics?
With Porzingis, I do not know. If Porzingis doesn't play, I think it's live. Yes. KP plays. Boston hasn't played their best version of basketball. They're 6-0 on the road. Okay? They're 6-0 without Porzingis. They haven't lost a road game yet. Like, they're going to add a 7-foot unicorn. They're going to add a dude that the Mavericks cannot guard.
They cannot. Knicks team, a Miami Heat team with no Jimmy Butler, and a young team. And
they didn't play the Knicks. Come on. They didn't play the Knicks. Played Miami, Cleveland, and Indiana.
Oh, I mean Cleveland.
Right?
I mean Cleveland without Donovan. Yeah.
Okay, you can say all of these things. Indiana was a good team. Indiana won 75% of their games this year against a Western Conference, and Boston swept them. Like, I'm just saying, that game one, after that game one, I was like, yeah, the series is over. I told you on the show, I was like, that's it. I mean, you blew it. Like, you can't lose that game one in that fashion. You cannot choke on that in the finals against a team like Boston. They were winning the series anyway. It was just how many were they going to win?
PB says we're welcoming Kyrie with open arms. Oh, it's going to be something in Boston.
I don't hate. I mean, there's two athletes that Boston people hate that I never hated. I never hated Kyrie, and I never hated LeBron. And I just don't get into the whole.
Man, it's going to be great.
I don't get caught up in it. I don't get caught up in, the Kyrie. I like Kyrie with Boston. I think Kyrie's an absolute destroyer, a killer, whatever you want to call him. He's an unbelievable NBA player.
Yeah.
Luka is just awesome to watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, am I supposed to be afraid of Naz Reid and like in this team for the Timberwolves, because their superstars have disappeared in the key moments?
Ooh.
So like Timberwolves,
Minnesota guys catching strays. Sorry, Minnesota.
I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about the Celtics path, can we please talk about the Dallas Mavericks path?
Dallas Mavericks path? What are you talking about? All road games. Clippers.
Ooh.
The number 1 seed, OKC.
The Clippers suck. The Thunder were unproven.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
A bunch of kids in Timberwolves whose star players are gone. Where is Cat in this series? Where is Karl Anthony Towns? Missing shots, hitting side of the backboard. I mean, this is, other than Anthony Edwards dunking on everybody and looking incredible. Like, everyone wants to quickly point out the fact that Boston's path has been so easy. I'm not exactly like falling over at the Mavericks path either as to how they got here. So, Boston's been the best team all year, all season long. They've been the best team. At some point, just acknowledge they're the best team in the NBA. They've been the best team. They are the best team. They will end up being the best team at the end. They're not going to sweep them. It's not going to be easy. It's the finals. But this is the year. This was always the year. They've been the odds-on favorite all year long. The books have had the metrics and numbers all season long. They've been the best team. It's boring, but they're the Dodgers. It's just a boring, really good team that's just going out there and doing what they're supposed to do. So, Floodhouse. But what do you say for game one? What do you say for game two? Like, these are games that, with Halliburton, they blew those games, choked on them. Game 3, they were without him. Game 4
2 was the game they covered. The Celtics blew them out.
Right. They killed them, and they had him.
Game that was their best game.
Celtics? Yes.
They smoked them.
And that series was over. I said it. They're going to win the game by 15 plus. They won by 16. They crushed it, because game 1 should have been the game they lost. So you saw the best version of Boston. Again, they're 6-0 in the playoffs on the road. They haven't lost yet. These series, they've lost 2 games in the playoffs so far. 2.
Right.
4-1, 4-1, 4-0. like, what do you want? Like, at some point, you got to stop knocking these guys and questioning what Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is doing, and recognizing that the sea change is here. We've waited for it a very long time with these 2 max player superstars, both taken 3rd overall in the draft. Jaylen Brown, the pick, was questioned forever. Who is this kid out of Cal who can't shoot? And he's made himself into a hell of a shooter, including a game 1, game tying 3 that had to get hit.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I know the public doesn't like this. I know people are sick to tired of Boston. I posted it this morning on Twitter. The number of final appearances for the Boston Celtics, for the Boston sports city. It's unbelievable the number of times that Boston has played for a championship in the last 25 years. It is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
you got everybody coming at you with
It
this,
is
with cheating and all that other stuff with the Pacers.
You can say all that winning came from cheating. Really? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Remember, Alex Cora was part of one championship team. Okay, Terry Francona, you're choosing him. 04-07, that was cheating. 18 was the only championship that Cora was a part of. 13, really? No, like you can't do that. Like you just can't talk about that. In the last 20 years, Red Sox are 4-0 in the World Series. Haven't lost a World Series.
Yeah.
Bruins keep going and losing. They haven't won a cup since 2011, but they keep on going and losing. So, but this is what people, all that losing, all the suckiness for Boston with the Celtics for years was to get Jason Tatum. Thank you, Philadelphia. Appreciate that. That was a beautiful pick. Great job. Thank you. We bamboozled the hell out of them last. Danny Ainge completely took Philadelphia behind the woodshed and bamboozled them.
Sign us off of sports because we can finish the show in bonus time.
Got baseball, and we've got both favorite thing about today, and we've got Better to Book It coming up on the other side. If you guys are watching the show live on Twitter and on X, don't move. More to come with us on the other side. If you are with us on Sports Grid or SiriusXM, talk to you tomorrow. Bonus time starts now.
Bloviating about Boston and now bamboozled. We got a B word every day. We're going to do a Bostonian versus the Book.
That's good.
Do a B word segment every day.
B. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Okay. World Series baseball. I'll tell you, I thought something I was going to tell you off the air that I can't tell you on the air. I can't say it. I was like, I just stopped myself. I almost said it. Like, I'm so comfortable. I almost said it on the air. I was like, I can't. Oh shit, I can't say that. I had to stop myself there. I can't say that on this show.
Speaking of, you can't say. How about this thread we got with this guy that's going to sign up for the contest? Are you paying attention to this? I'm negotiating while we're doing the show. It's incredible. It's fantastic.
Oh, we said yes to this?
Well, we got the boss to clear it. So I said, all right, I'll call your bluff. Yeah, let's go. We'll see what he says. Continue.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, that was a shift. Okay. We'll talk about this off the air.
Yeah.
Baseball, World Series rematch. Anyone care about this? Rangers D-backs.
Oh.
Right?
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
This is crazy. You have a World Series rematch, and it's like
it's undecided.
No one cares. No, they both suck. The Rangers suck. D-backs suck. No one cares because both teams are awful.
Just hold on.
They're awful.
We got to welcome some new people that signed up for the proxy service. They're watching the show. They're Texas Ranger fans. They get it.
I mean, I know big business.
Like he's right,
but he called it
right. Like this,
no,
I didn't even know they were playing today.
Big business told me and you in the offseason when we were talking about what to bet. He said, "Do not bet the Rangers over their win total. They're going to suck this year." And I was like, "Come on, man! No, they're not. Look at their offense." I pushed back on it. He goes, "I'm a Ranger fan. I'm telling you, they're going to suck this year."
Well,
he's right. Rangers suck.
Well, I mean, they apparently still have DeGrom and
coming back. Yes,
actually coming back in the. Like,
but how far? This is like, this is you told me you watched it on the plane. I watched on the Boys in the Boat. I watched it on the plane.
Did you like it?
I loved it. It was a tremendous movie. Absolutely
fantastic.
George Clooney killed it. Great movie. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome movie. But the final scene, I won't spend it, but when they were far behind, that's what this guy. That's the Rangers. They're gonna start like 5 boat legs behind. Like
they ain't that far behind. You see this division? It's caca.
Division sucks. That's true. Yeah.
The division is not good. So they can hang around like Teddy KGB says in our opening and in the movie Rounders, which is still one of my favorite movies of all time. There's so many lessons in that movie. But he was amazing in that movie too.
Addison, what are you talking about? The Rangers are a hockey team, but they're also a baseball team. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Texas Rangers versus the New York Rangers. Listen. Places that Addison goes before the show starts, he could be confused about the Rangers. It's no problem. Addison, I love you, sir. Trying to get this guy a gig to be our full-time photographer. We have a BVB photographer that we would keep on the payroll, taking shots of us all over the place, doing the stuff. Believe me, I get it. Nobody gives 2 shits about this game tonight. The Rangers haven't even named a pitcher. It's
Right.
1:15 in the afternoon Pacific. We don't even know it's still undecided.
Well, how about this game, though? Woods Richardson against Reagans. This is all of a sudden, all of these two teams to watch this summer. Royals Twins. This is going to be fun.
I mean, there's two fan bases that care about this.
I disagree with you. I think baseball, if you're a baseball fan, you're not watching the Royals, I think something's wrong. Why wouldn't you pay attention to the Royals? They've been phenomenal so far.
Again.
They have two good pitchers, Lugo and Reagans at the top. Bobby Witt Jr. is a really fun player to watch. Royals are a good team, a fun team with marketable talent. No?
You don't have to convince me. I agree with you. Kansas City's phenomenal. It's the Minnesota part of this. Nothing personal, D Stout. The season's going to end tonight, most likely for the T-Wolves, but everybody's going to be watching the T-Wolves. They're going to win. All the hope's going to come back. T-Wolves in 7 will be trending on the Twitter and on the Instagram and all this other stuff. And they're going to go, wait a second, the Royals are in town? Oh, okay. The Royals are not only in town, they're favored tonight. Hello. Reagans, baby. That's a play. J. Dow Betts is a baseball fan. I love watching Reagans on the bump. Yeah. Tell him, J. Dow.
And finally, Council went back to Milwaukee. He got booed badly yesterday. Yes. They lost the game. Cubs are again big dogs at the Brewers.
Been a good week for the Cubs, people. Been very quiet. Our friend Iggy.
Yeah, it's tough.
Got a little sick, under the weather. Feel bad. I went and saw him yesterday at the joint, the omelet joint.
Right.
And I said, how you been? You haven't texted me. I guess the Cubs have been losing.
A lot.
Yeah. Not good. Not good at all. Peralta's pitching today. Brewers probably win today.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the Brewers look like the better team. But again, Council was why I like the Cubs. So I think Council hopefully will make some adjustments as the summer goes on.
Yeah.
Add some talent and be able to do some things.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see a bounce back. I mean, I'm on there over 84.5 for wins. So I need the Cubs to at least stay 500 and be capable of hitting that number. So don't like the swoons in May, but I'll take them in May before September. So we'll see. But yes, your 1-2 of Reagan's logo has been tremendous.
Hello, JC from KC, smiling.
You should. You're gonna unbelievable 1-2 and very well could be in the playoffs.
I think Royals, I may have just decided what I'm wearing tonight on the show.
Royal gear.
I may go with the.
I like it. Yeah, I like the Royals tonight. Sure, I'm a fan.
I don't want to put the blue shirt stuff on tonight.
I think they win today. I would agree with you on that. Time for Better to Book. All right, go right to it. I like Minnesota to win. I think we're extending this series. I think we're going back.
For future reference, that Minnesota symbol MN is for the post office. In the sportsbook world, it's MIN.
Okay, it's the state code is Minnesota MN.
That's the state code, but
correct.
It's MIN. Wait, anyhow, this is basketball, sir, or baseball?
Basketball.
Because ironically, they're both the same price.
Are they really both plus 110?
Which is a damn nightmare in the book.
Oh my, that's cool.
This is why you need game numbers.
Okay.
This is what's important. When you come up to the counter, you say 968.
That's cool.
I know you mean the Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
But if you come up to the counter, you say 507. I know you mean the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're both plus 110. How many people are going to get their ticket fucked up today and have plus 110 thinking that this one won and this one did, and they're going to be mad?
Shoot, that stink. Wow.
Same price. Oh, reason number 7.2.1. Why? I'm glad I'm not in the book.
Amazing.
Playing today in the same price. Basketball booking.
Mavs.
Sweet.
All right. Well, you probably won't like either one of these. Rudy Gobert over 11.5 points today.
Thought you weren't doing basketball props.
I've been hot. I've been killing basketball props.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you don't like the baseball props.
Do not like baseball props. Basketball props have done well because it's playoff basketball and you get full maximum effort from every player on the court, and they'll play with a little nick, bump, or a bruise. So.
Gobert over points or rebounds? I like Gobert over rebounds. You like points, bro?
I like points for him. Yep, it's plus money, plus 102. And the score, he's gone over this 5 of 7 games. He's gone over his points prop.
All right, I'll say book it.
Okay. And then Naz Reid's been an absolute cash cow. 3 straight games, 3 straight bets. Over 8.
PRA? Like the kids?
PRA, points per
You
assist.
PRAs?
Yeah,
What
either he
happened
scores,
while you were
either
gone?
scores 23 and goes over
Who
with the
you are
points.
anymore?
What?
I said, what happened to you while you were gone? I don't even know who you are anymore.
I've been betting these for a week now. Just haven't bring them on the show. I've been betting them on the juice because the juice was all messed up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
What did you do? You were 2 hours sleep. You messed up like people were like, "Is Peralta okay?" They were asking me in a text. I'm like,
was a mess.
He's fine. He's with his
Dave,
girlfriend.
I fell asleep on the air.
Which day? I will go back and listen to that. Which day?
You won't be only I can see it. I can see. I blinked my eyes. My brain shut off and I went and I opened it back up again. I legitimately, the lights went out inside. It was a quick one, but I could see it for myself. I literally fell asleep. I was on 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, you were.
It was 1 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time.
This was before or after that woman straddled you on the plane?
After I was completely and totally out to lunch, and I started talking about the OKC Thunder and the Minnesota and the Mavericks. I started calling the Timberwolves.
They said your boy wasn't even saying the right team.
I was a mess. A long flight. I was tired. I had 2 glasses of wine. I was a complete and utter mess doing that podcast that night, and I fell asleep. First time in my life, I pulled the Mike Francesa. I literally fell asleep on the air as I was taping. That's how tired I was. But we went 3-1 that day. So you can't get it. I won. So you can't be mad.
This football guy 97 says, I was watching with my wife. She was asking if you were drugged.
I was. I mean, I was delirious. And
Otto said you just came in the chat and said you intertwined the baseball and the hockey in one spot.
Pretty much, yeah. It was all twisted up around. I was a mess, but I went 3-1. So the plays hit. It just when I went back and all the plays I described were all good. It's when I went back to recap the pod at the end of it is when I fell asleep.
That's phenomenal.
So that's where I got it wrong. If you because it was an awesome example. If all you did was fast forward to the end, you had no fucking clue what I was talking about. If you watched the whole podcast, you knew what I was doing. So you had to go ahead and watch the whole podcast. If you just listen to the recap, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Matt? You're all over the place. But I went 3-1. So I had a very good week last week. I had 5 of 7 winning days, and 4 of the 5 were 3-1 days. So we did well. We had a good week last week. And then finally, under 8.5 Braves Nats coming up here. It's been fun to bet the unders with the Braves, obviously, but you got a good pitcher for both going here.
Today against Irvin.
Irvin's been very good for them.
I'll say bet this.
He's lost 4 in a row, but he loses like 3-1 games.
Yeah, I mean, it was an automatic fade yesterday on the Braves. Like you had to have Washington yesterday after the injury. You had the first day back. Today you get Ace Freed. They probably win. He pitched great. Was it last time out or the time before? Either way, he's been pitching good the last couple starts. So I'd say bet that under, yes.
Okay. Favorite thing about today is what?
2 things. I think I mentioned it on the last show on Thursday, but it was so long ago I can't remember. So I said I better put this note here because I'm telling everybody. If you're in first place on Memorial Day, 53% of the time you win the division.
Ooh, okay. Like it. First
64% of the time you make the playoffs.
Good.
So go through, check the standings as of today, because we're through Memorial Day. No games have yet been played today. So you'll have an idea of what you can look at for futures. I'm out scouring around, trying to figure out what the move is, get these things in position. Milwaukee's winning the NL Central right now. Seattle's winning the AL West right now. There's some things that you can do with those prices and different things. So just keep that in mind. And then my second favorite thing is that I had a heart doctor appointment this morning, and I had to go get one of those things on. I'm wearing one of them heart monitor things again.
Uh-oh. You all right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, but we gotta do this now. This is part of the maintenance. So the last time I knew it was coming, I shaved my chest.
Oh,
so I was ready for these stickers.
Yeah.
I showed up today. It's been a long weekend, a very long weekend. A lot of things happening here at the house. The kids are home from school, complete chaos. One of the girls that I coached had a baby shower.
A girl you coached?
It was crazy. One of the kids that the girls went to high school with, they went to a funeral. He died in a motorcycle accident. We had like a crazy weekend. Like we went from they went. I didn't go. I was busy with sports and doing other stuff. They went to a funeral for someone their age. They went to a baby shower for someone their age, and then they went to a high school graduation. But you want to talk about a crazy parlay of life? The kids are 20. Like Kyler's not 21 yet. She'll be 21 in a month and a half. But anyhow, so I went to the heart doctor, and I got this monitor affixed to me that I'll have for 3 days. I said, listen, 2 things. One, I listen and talk to this guy from Boston every day. And the Celtics won yesterday, and he's going to be fucking annoying. So if my heart rate goes up between 11 and 1 Pacific every day, when you look, this is why. Okay? That's number one. And while we're here, oh, really? What's the name of the show? I said, Bostonian versus the book. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Pull it right up there. I'm telling everybody.
Great.
But number 2, I said, we're fixing this on today? She says, yeah. I said, I would have shaved. I would have cleaned it all up. She goes, oh, I'll do it for you, honey. It's no problem. Listen, you want pain? You want aggravation? You want to hurt?
Did she shave her chest or she just put it on?
Cold, shaved with a plastic razor that she pulls out of a drawer.
No
she goes,
cream?
No, problem, honey,
no shaving cream? Nothing? Just
nothing.
Oh, that hurts. Dang.
Nothing. Just went like this. She pulled it out. I was like, oh. I said, can I do it? She said, no, I'll do it. Just pulled my shirt up and she went, and I was like, oh.
She's taking skin with that. She's not taking hair. She's taking skin.
Oh. Oh. I was like, please. I said, she had a new monitor. So I'm like, oh, that's not the regular monitor. She's like, no, we upgraded. It's smaller. So I didn't need like 4 stickers attached.
That's good.
I only needed 3.
That's good.
But my eyes watered a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I can't imagine getting the body parts waxed down below. That's what it made me think of. Like, I don't know how you women that watch this show or listen to the show go and get that parts of your stuff waxed. I got quick shave today, cold, with a plastic piece of shit razor, disposable. I wanted to die. I was like, oh.
So you never waxed your chest?
Waxed? No.
Yeah, back in the day for a girl. I did it for a while. It gets easier. The first time you do it, though, is easily one of the most painful things a guy will ever do. It absolutely, it gets easier as it goes, but that first time you'll never forget your first time doing it. It's 40-year-old virgin is not far off from actually what it's like.
So I don't mind the manscaping. You got to keep it clean and stuff. Of
course.
Keep it short. And
yeah,
tight.
but that's not pulling the hair out. That's just trimming.
That's what I'm
shaving.
Right.
Yeah. Pulling it out of the follicle is the rip is like so early 2000s was a fun period of my life. A couple of things, by the way. Thank you, Dave Daily Pick. Tip of the cap. Thank you. Great series. We appreciate that. And Addison, don't worry, no F1. Well, I saw the F1 arcade, Addison, in Boston. It's coming to Vegas. So I walked past that thing. So it's in the Seaport.
Got to say that ended at Indy 500 race was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Last lap. Sure. That was neat. Yeah. Can we have that here? Because I saw a very interesting video over the weekend on the fact that, did you know, Dave, that the Monaco race sets everything up and takes everything down in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Everything is foreign. Nothing is actually set up. Nothing stays. There's no permanent structure to the Monaco race. They just want to fuck us up for 6 months. Monaco, too much money. Can't fuck with those people. They got real money. So we're gonna make sure we're in or out. No problem with Monaco. Got to be careful. Monaco people get mad. Can't screw with paradise. But you'll come here and ruin us for 6 months.
6 weeks up
6
and
weeks.
down.
Done. Bang bang. No problems. Up, down, and it's all foreign. There's nothing that stays. Everything is temporary for the entire race in Monaco in 6 weeks.
Wow. How about that?
It's amazing that
somebody got paid here, man.
Oh, woo! Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somebody got paid.
Absolutely. Favorite thing about today. So you never know in life when everything can completely change and everything could be great and wonderful. And then in one split second, your entire life could change and you're left going, what the fuck just happened? I told you and Jessica this in the chat. I'll tell you, or in our text message, I'll tell you the actual story.
Yep.
Amanda almost died over the weekend. And I'm not even saying that as like a small thing. My favorite thing about today is that she's alive. So I go to lay down. As you guys know, you saw the video. I was pretty tired. I had to get some sleep. So I laid down to take a nap. It's about 11:30 Eastern time. So it's like 8 o'clock Pacific time. So I've been up since, we're getting up at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So it's 5 o'clock for me, 6 o'clock for me. So I lay down and take a quick nap. Just rest my eyes. That whole like lay down and you're quasi asleep. I'm hearing bang, 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 bang. I'm like, what is she doing? Like she's making lunch for her son, Brooks. Bang, 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 bang. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I sit up and I try to look in the kitchen, and she comes running into the bedroom, not making a sound. Starts jumping up and down and pointing. And I go, you choking? I've never seen the look on someone's face, and I'll never be able to get the look of her face out of the eyes. She was terrified. Yep. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't make a noise. She couldn't make a sound. So that was 1 minute of no breathing. I start doing the Heimlich and nothing is happening. I'm feeling her ribs move. Like I'm picking her up off the ground. I'm squeezing, I'm punching her stomach. I'm trying to get it out. It's lodged. And I have no idea what's lodged. I just know she can't breathe.
Right.
Now we're into 2 minutes, her not breathing. Take my phone out. She starts getting limp. I could feel that she's starting to pass, getting ready to pass out. And I'm like, if she passes out, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know what's going to. All I could do, I took the palm of my hand and I started to hit her as hard as I could hit her, right in the middle of her back. And I mean, like, and she's like 120 pounds. I'm smacking her as hard as I can hit her. Third time I hit her, she throws up. I heard the air, come out of her throat.
Oh, is that scary?
I was like, I'm still not fully over what just happened and how you lay down and the person that you're there to see and you're incredibly head over heels over almost dies in your arms. Where she lives at the top of a housing development.
Yeah.
It's like 5 minutes away, 6 minutes away from the nearest ambulance, the nearest fire station.
Right.
So we go to dinner and my sister's boyfriend's an EMT, and we were like, how long? He's like, well, the human brain can go 10 minutes without oxygen.
Right.
But you pass out after about 3.
Yeah.
And then brain damage kicks in and starts to get really, really, really bad.
Yep.
So the more you go without oxygen, the longer you go, the more difficult your life's going to be after you come to. And I'm like, what the holy fuck just happened? Simple rundown. She was rushing. An hour before, I said to her, hey, you're running around really crazy. Like, just take a second because you're going to like make a mistake. You had knives. She was cutting things up. I'm like, just careful. She was making lunch. She was making plans for the night, and she took a bite of roast beef. She had rolled up a piece of roast beef and bit it. Walking around. It almost killed her.
Right.
Almost legitimately killed her. So just understand that life is really, really, really delicate and things can change.
Oh, you froze. Hold on. Stop talking. Got all the way to this point. Froze with that face. Boy, they got you there.
We're back.
They're back.
So like that was just one of those moments. She called it trauma bonding. Like, I'd never heard that term before.
She made it up.
No, it's actually what they talk about in the OR. It's what she does. She said that's what they happen when things go wrong when a patient's under anesthesia.
Right.
They have massive, like, to revive someone who's legally dead.
Yep.
They have to go ahead and do this. So Madeline just texted me deadly roast beef. Maddie, where are you? You outside listening?
Deadly roast beef.
But that's what it was. It almost a rolled up rolled up thing. And here's the thing. If it was a piece of meat, I think she would have died.
Yep.
Because the fact that it was a cold cut, me hitting her unraveled it.
Able to get it out. Yep.
And then it was able to come up. It was able to get it out of it. I cut my hand, like, I don't know what, it's still, you see the cut. I cut my hand on something. I don't know what I cut my hand on, but so like she had blood all over her shirt. So I was like, are you bleeding? Are you bleeding? She's like, I'm not bleeding. Are you bleeding? We looked at my hand. It was like blood pouring down it was a moment that was just like, holy shit.
Wow.
My favorite thing about today is that Amanda's still alive. That's my favorite thing about today. So just know that I've thought 15,000 different scenarios as to what I would have done if it didn't work. Like what could I have done? And then so I guess if you're ever caught in this situation, our PSA of the day is if you're by yourself, because if I wasn't there and she was alone, her son would not have been, he's 7 years old. He wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Right.
So luckily I was an adult and I was there. Take a chair and run yourself into the chair as fast as you can. Like find a flat edge of a chair, and my sister's boyfriend said just run as fast as you can right into it, like basically getting punched in the stomach, which potentially might dislodge it and cause you to be able to get it out if you're by yourself.
My dad saved somebody at a steakhouse once, and I saw it and I was like, what the hell just happened? Like that guy literally would have been gone. Scary, man. That choking thing, guys that have kids, girls, that was always a big thing for me and Jess. Like, chew your food. We're always, we took the CPR classes. The kids have each taken it.
Oh, that's
good. In
good.
Case.
That's great.
Yeah, just in case.
She's like, you saved my life. I'm like, I don't know if I'm taking that term or not. The EMT.
Oh, she owes.
Well, my boyfriend, my sister's boyfriends said, "Oh no, you saved your life.
Yeah.
You would have been really, really bad if you didn't do that." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "She might be alive, but she might be on a machine the rest of her life."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, every
no
scenario, every like situation, was like it all could have been over. Like it all could have ended. I don't know how I would have done this show again. I don't know how I would have done anything. Like, everything would have been." My entire life nearly took a dramatic right-hand turn to the negative if that had gone the way that it would have been. So be careful. More of the story is be careful. Like when you're eating food and doing a lot of things, we're all doing 15 different things. Yikes. Things can change really quick. So we are back tomorrow. Same place, same time. He's Dave. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Good job. We're early tomorrow. Early show tomorrow, 9 o'clock Pacific, 11 a.m. Noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central for the show tomorrow. Okay. We got a busy proxy service afternoon. It starts what we've told you guys about. There's going to be times where the show could be in flux in terms of start times. So it's going to be a midday show, East Coast, lunchtime version of BVB tomorrow. Morning show
West Coast. For
you guys on the West Coast for that. 9 a.m. Not very funny, LL. Not true.
Not tomorrow.
Yeah, just kidding. He's saying because we're always late. He said, say 9 o'clock, you're going to be 10:15. He's kidding.
We'll be done with the show by 11:30 either way.
Pacific time. Yes.
Pacific time. So we have to start by drop dead time, 9:30. But the plan is 9 a.m. School is done. We don't have any rides to school.
Yeah.
Anything like that. We could start at 8:45. We could beat Pat and the boys to the start time.
Ooh. Maybe. We'll see what time we start tomorrow. Dave and Matt back tomorrow for our Wednesdays, BVB.